Hi everybody, my name is Erika Cortés
And my name is Daniela Suárez.
and we are currently students of the Bachelor in English at Universidad Distrital Francisco José Caldas in Bogotá.
Okay. We noticed in our practicum that the students, there is an imbalance in the English classes. The students have still a passive role and teachers have an active role. This worried us because students have to talk in English classes. That's the idea.
Yes, commonly the teacher is the one who decides when to talk, who talks in class and what about to talk. For that reason we wanted to give the students a voice. Due to the previous problem, our research question is:
How do high school students represent their own reality after using some songs in English in a specific English as a foreign language class?
In our study, we decided to work with two main constructs. The first one is content representation using critical pedagogy. In this case, I want to explain what is content representation and what is critical pedagogy. Context representation is the way in which we perceive the world around us, and for that reason it is constantly changing, because it's not the same what we think when we are children and what we think when we are adults. Also, critical pedagogy has to do with the consciousness that we acquire when we are learning something. For that reason we wanted to that the students in our classes ask why I am learning things, and for what reason this is useful for my life. So in that way they are thinking in a conscious way and they can use that learning in class in their real life.
Our second category is songs in English. Based on some authors, we noticed that music creates a comfortable environment in the classrooms. For that reason, we think that the use of songs in classes could foster in the students the participation. Additionally, songs talks about different topics, for example, experiences, feelings, and even can tell stories.
In our study, we developed a case study. In this specific case, a descriptive case study. It means that we just analyzed and wrote about what was happening in the classroom. The case study is divided in three parts. The first one is the particularity. So in this case, is the student's context representation. The second one is a contextualization. In this case, we work with 7th graders between 8 and 12 years old. And finally, we have the interpretation. That is the work that we developed with my partner in order to analyze the students' responses and also in order to write an academic article. In our data collection instruments, we used students' artifacts such as drawings and short writings in order to activate the students' memory and in order to evocate significant moments of their lives. Also, we used classroom observations in order to observe what was happening in class while we are implementing our activities. For example, in some cases, the students were shy to express their ideas or their opinions, but they were talking between themselves about the class, about their interest in the activity, and we could notice if they were enthusiastic or maybe bored with the activities. Also, we used closed-ended questionnaires and dialogues with the students in order to complement the information that we obtained and in order to avoid subjectivities, making the voices of the students valuable.
In our pedagogical design, we decided to apply a questionnaire for our students in which they could told us about their musical likes. Based on those answers, we selected 3 songs. Those classes were divided into 2 parts. The first part, the students have to listen to the song and understand all the words that they don't know. And in the second part, the students were deeper in the meaning of the song. Our first song is Monster by Imagine Dragons. In this part, the students developed some short writings. In the second song is In My Blood by Shawn Mendes. The students created some drawings and we also had some spontaneous dialogues with them. And our last song is Count on Me by Bruno Mars. In this part, students wrote a letter talking about their best day with a relative. According to the data that we collected, we classified our findings into 4 categories. Our first category is feelings of loneliness. In this part, the students express a feeling of solitude, in which they express an absence of a relative and the absence of an object. Additionally, they also express that they prefer to be in the school because this is a space in which they could socialize with other people and they could share experiences and things with similar people to them. Contrary to what was expressed before, some students also express that they don't know how to represent that solitude because they don't feel alone. Our second category is physical and verbal mistreatment. Some students express that they had suffered verbal mistreatment by their relatives and verbal mistreatment by their classmates. This affects them because they don't know how to socialize when they have to work in groups inside the classroom. Additionally, some students express that the physical mistreatment, but not by themselves, but recognizing in others. We have a student that told us about a case in which they know that a classmate of her had suffered physical abuse by their parents.
Our third category is problems management. In this case, we wanted to know how the students react to some problematic situations that they have lived. For example, some of them express that they just, forget about the problems and just continue living, but that could represent another problematic in the future because they didn't learn how to solve a problem. Some of the students expressed that they solve the problems by themselves, just thinking about it and looking for a solution, nothing more. Other students expressed that they like to talk with their partners in the school because they feel supported and they don't feel judged. And finally, some other students express that they just look for technological devices as watching TV or movies or listening to music in order to avoid the problems. The last category that we have is moments of happiness. In here, we noticed that the students feel happy just sharing time with their relatives and with their close friends. For example, in the letters, you can see that they expressed feeling happiness going to the cinema or passing all the day with her mom or with her father. And we have another subcategory that is moments of happiness associated with an object. So in this case, we can observe that one student said that he felt happy with a soccer ball. In this case, he could be expressing a passion for soccer. Also, another student expressed that they felt happy by receiving a cell phone in their birthday, and that's it. We have also one specific case in which one student felt happiness by receiving a dessert in a special day, and we can hear evidence that the social strata and the environment that the students are living is important because some of them didn't have the opportunity to have lunch or maybe buy something to eat at break. So the kid that was receiving a dessert, he felt happy with that.
Finally, we conclude that this pedagogical intervention encourages our students to explore and reflect on their contexts with topics close to them. Additionally, the use of critical pedagogy stimulate them to talk about their realities and having a better confidence at the moment of expressing their opinions.
Also, the use of critical pedagogy in classes helps the students to have an active role and also a dynamic role in the classroom, making of their learning a meaningful learning. Additionally, we noticed that the students improved in the language skills, specifically in writing and speaking, even when the English language improvement was now one of our goals. We have a message for all the parents because childhood is a really important stage in the personality development and also the behavior development. For that reason, it is important to devote more quality time to your children.
We also have to take into account that education is a part of everyone that belongs to a society.
Thank you so much.